Hey, good evening everyone. It's Dana here with Love Sola Flowers, and we are having a late night tutorial tonight. And just want to remind you guys to take advantage of our sale going on right now because it is ending. It is up to 70% off, and our website is lovesolaflowers.com. And if you haven't joined our community group, that is facebook.com/groups/lovesolaflowers. And all of these videos will end up on YouTube, and our YouTube channel is youtube.com/lovesolaflowers. So you can search all our videos there. We have a couple years worth of videos, a whole bunch of different topics. Some things are just basics, and some things are more like arrangement type things. So if you've never watched our tutorials, head over to the YouTube channel. Hey, Tracy. Hey everyone, we do have them here on our business page. This is where they come live. So on YouTube, they're not live. They get put over there after they are recorded. So if you do want to make sure you don't miss a video, make sure that you follow our page and have notifications set to receive our notifications. That way you don't miss any lives, because sometimes people like to have lives where they ask while it's happening, or so I can show something closer, those kind of things. Hi, Johnny. So if you need to be here live, make sure that you are checking her. Hey, Luann. So today I thought I'd do an interesting one. I've actually had a request for these. Hi, Jessica. I've had a request for a few of these now for weddings. I think the glass type look is getting popular, a little more elegant. Hi, Linda. And so I'm going to show you how to do an acrylic box, actually. So we're going to do that in a minute. But like I said, our sale is up to 70%, and it is ending. So if you need anything, go grab that now. Hi, Martha. So here's what we're going to be making. So a lot of people like these square glass boxes, but I don't like glass because glass is heavy, especially if you are someone who needs to be transporting these or even shipping these. So I get acrylic boxes. They look like glass. They're pretty. It's even curved, so it looks like, it really does look like glass. None of my brides have said no, they want real glass. So this is an acrylic box. This size box is a 6 by 6 by 6. Okay, so it's 6, 6, 6, square 6, but it's all a 6 by 6 by 6. I do have a lot of ones that are 5 by 5 by 5s too, but those are the two most popular sizes for the center of a table. Even though they're square, these are also really good for round tables, so don't let it trick you up. It doesn't need to be a square rectangle table. It could be on a round table too, and they're really cute. So basically we're gonna have a floating bouquet in here, and you can definitely actually add water to the bottom of it to make it look more realistic if that is something you want to do as well. So let me show you the finished product real fast. Oh, let me get it. And the stems are not wrapped yet, but this is what it looks like. Basically like little floating bouquets. And again, you can put water in it if you use these stem covers like I'm going to show you, and it doesn't affect it, and it'll look more realistic, obviously. So here's what we're gonna do. First, here's where we're gonna start. So again, we have the acrylic box. I'm gonna put it to the side. So if you're just joining us, this is again a 6 by 6 by 6. So we're gonna put this to the side. And I have flowers, and I'm gonna stem a few more because I left it off on purpose to show some of you if you have not seen this stem with stem covers. But I've got about, well, in total, after I stemmed the last few, there are 21 flowers for this 6 by 6 by 6. They are, some of them are the bigger style flowers, but they're all 3-inch flowers. So my bouquet tonight will be 21 flowers, all 3 inches, and kind of the bigger styles that don't easily collapse. I do have some peonies in there. Those ones kind of smush a little bit, but nice and big and full, because then there'll be less flowers. And then I've got short stems of eucalyptus, faux eucalyptus. You can use preserved eucalyptus. And then also a lot of our fillers have stems like off a bush. So you can buy one bush and you clip it up. So on Love Sola Flowers, if you look under their filler, you can see the ones, it'll say either stem or bush, and it'll tell you how many of each. So you can use those, but I have short, I don't need the long stem things. I like to use things like bushes or things that you can clip down to be shorter. Now, I am using stem covers because the key to like plastic or glass is to make sure it looks nice on the, you know, from the outside. Like wires and things aren't obviously cute. So yeah, the seed bundles are really great, Tracy. So, and those would be great for this if you want a more rustic style. This is very simple, this one that I'm making tonight, but you can put lots of different fillers in. I'm actually doing this for a bride, and she just wanted white roses and all that kind of peony style flowers and just some eucalyptus. So that is what we are doing. So I've got my flowers, and I just want to show you how to stem them if you are just joining us for the first time. So my flowers, first of all, sometimes they have this part of it is extra long. You're gonna wanna trim it down just a little bit because you don't want it to be kind of flopsy in there. So I always kind of trim down a little bit to get just a little stub, and it's a nice flat stub. And the wire usually goes in a little better once you cut that. As you can see, there's even a hole in this, so that'll be easy. I use 18 gauge wire. You can use 16 gauge if you want it a little firmer. I wouldn't go up in gauge because up means floppier. So 18 gauge is nice and firm. 20 gauge would be a little floppier. 16 gauge would be a little bit firmer. So depending on what you're needing your wires for, basically 18 can kind of do anything because it's kind of super bendy but without being floppy. So I have an 18 gauge wire. They come long, but I've cut them in half because once you're putting on a stem cover, you don't need it to be full length. So I only do half a wire. And we have stem covers on our website. Basically, it's a plastic tube straw that goes up on over your wire, and it looks more realistic than having a wire. So this is what we've got there, and they come in packages of 50. So I'm gonna put a kind of a decent amount of blob of glue here on the back of my flower. So I got my blob, see my blob? And I'm gonna put my wire right in there. I don't want to push it too far in, but you want to make sure it definitely catches. And the stem cover goes right over it into the blob. So you don't need to use an extra blob. It's not a second step. And I like to just twist it a little bit so that it gets all goobed up in there and they stay good. So I'm going to just do a couple of them just to show you again, if you've never used our stem covers, how very easy they are. So I've got the back of my flower. I put a blob of glue. Gonna put my wire in it first, and then my cover right on over. Again, I give it a little twist around so that it catches all that blobbiness. And I'm gonna finish these. So I've got 2 more flowers that I'm gonna stem here. Super simple. Make sure I push it in. Just give it a second before I put it down so it doesn't pop back out. And then once we have our flowers stemmed, we're gonna make a bouquet to put in our acrylic box. It's gonna be a super easy bouquet. It's actually the same way that I make my, yes, blobbiness. It's actually the same way I make most of my bridesmaids bouquets. So it's super easy, quick, fast. All right, so this is what I always start like, okay? So I'm gonna take whatever chunk again. Now, if you've gotten our bushes, again, we have some really pretty, she wanted very simple for this, so I couldn't use any of that really fun one, like seeded eucalyptus and all that. Very pretty. We have bushes, willow eucalyptus, all that on our website. And so you just need one stem at a time. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna put your stem with your flower, and you're going to try to avoid putting 2 of the same flower together. And I am starting with 3 different styles, like a little triangle, okay? And then basically we're just gonna keep rotating it like this and filling with flowers going around and around. And you're gonna, again, wanna make sure that you're not, especially if you're doing color, you don't wanna have a whole bunch of color, you know, in one spot or not. So I always like my flowers to be different. And then I'm gonna add some greenery as I go around this circle. So again, so if I have these 2 style flowers, I'm gonna put a different style flower there. And I'm just gonna keep spinning this. And I'm going to add greenery as I go as well. So we're gonna need this one, okay? So let's just get the first row here. Oops, it's all stuck. Let's get this first row here. And then here's what you want to do, again, because it's going to go in the box. Your rounded top is super important. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna push my flowers so that all the heads of them are the same height. You don't want it to be up and down when you're going in a box like this. It's very important that you keep a very rounded top. So we're just gonna keep maneuvering our flowers to make sure that they stay all the same height, okay? So then I'm gonna add again greenery and then flowers. I do like 3 at a time before I reevaluate what I need next, okay? You decided yes, we sell them and then we give tutorials on how to make the things out of them. So we do not sell made items. The flowers come unstemmed, and then you can buy your stems, wire stems in craft stores or Amazon. And then we have things like stem covers, or we have the natural looking stems called like lattice stems. The other one, they look like real stems too. So again, I'm just gonna keep making sure the tops of my flowers are all the same height, and I'm gonna be rotating it and filling in, again, with the style that's not touching it. Okay, and again, we're gonna just be adding greens as we go. And you can swish those around too once we get our basic shape here. And again, I'm gonna keep pushing down the top so that it stays rounded. I spin it, and oop, I have that flower, so we're gonna go. So I'm gonna do this. Hello. So now I'm just gonna be adding more greens in between. Okay, do you see how it's coming along? Okay, but again, the rounded top is kind of important because it's how it's gotta like sit on the top of the box, okay? So again, I'm just gonna keep going. Now, it's not gonna be perfect at first grip, but just keep holding it, and I'm gonna show you, how to make it perfect at the very end here. So again, I'm gonna keep going around to make sure that I don't have the same flower touching the same flower. The more styles of flowers and colors, the kind of easier it is to not color block. Okay, so see how I'm just gonna go around in a circle, and I just keep making more layers. It's super quick and easy. And I've got one more flower and it's perfect. So now I've got them bunched in my hand, right? And I've got one more green piece, so I'm just gonna find where that needs to go here for now. Okay, so once I've got these bundled in my hands, like pretty good rounded, now I'm gonna make sure that I'm really good rounded. So see how some of these are kind of bent over? I'm gonna lift them up. Yes, Tracy, because it's only 20 flowers and my hand is strong enough. If you have trouble shaping, if you're new especially, you definitely want to tape because you have to have a really good grip on the flowers so that you don't lose their shapes. So especially if you're keeping it round. So I do suggest if you tape more often if you're kind of new to making bouquets. So again, I'm just going to take it, I'm going to spin, I'm going to lift up my flowers to make sure that they're all the same height. So that, see how the look is, a round top. This little guy, he's got one petal that's sticking out. I'm gonna twist him. There we go. Okay, so again, I'm just gonna space them and push them so that my top is round. And again, if you have a hard time maneuvering, you could put, some people even put zip ties at not full tightness that kind of hold it together while you're working. Or you could tape more often than I do. I don't necessarily, again, I make many bouquets a day. So I'm just used to not taping when it's this small. And when it's bigger, okay, but this is about a medium-sized bridesmaid. 18 to 20 flowers is what I consider a medium bridesmaid. But as you can see from the face forward, it's pretty rounded. And again, if any of your flowers get stuck down there, just slide them up. Never bend your wires to make the shape. Just slide them up and down until you get a nice rounded edge, okay? So now I've got my tape. This is electrical tape, and I'm gonna tape this up. And I gotta make sure that I don't lose my shape while I do it. So again, some of you might need to, if it's, you know, your first times doing this, tape a little bit extra because I don't need to. Now I got a little bit of a lump. If you get a lump because of the wire, I always just go in there and I actually cut out the lump and then I retape it. So it's just sometimes there's like parts of the stems that stick out. So if you get a lump, just, we don't want a lump for the end result here. So I'm gonna put Acrylic tape on it. Okay, so as you can see, I've got a bouquet here that is rounded on the top. Okay, now it's taped up. A couple of them moved when I was taping. That happens. You can just, I never tape like so tight where it's not movable. So now that I have this, now I've got my stems, which are way too long for my box, obviously. So I'm gonna take my box back again. And my first cut is gonna be, I'm gonna measure it up to the side of it. And I'm just gonna make a first quick cut. Okay, so my first cut's gonna be from the top of the box to the bottom, and we're gonna let those go. Now, your stems are gonna be super uber short because the box is only 6 inches tall. So I'm gonna move all these out. So because my wire is in half, I don't even need to use wire clippers to cut these. I can just use scissors because the actual wire is up higher. So I'm not worrying about it. Hi. All right, so I'm just gonna keep trimming. And then once I've got kind of a littler stub, I'm gonna test it in my box. Now, if it touches the bottom at all, which this does, especially because this box has an arch a little bit, so it's touching it and that lifts it too high. So I just wanna make it to where it floats like a centimeter above the bottom of the box. Okay, let me try it again. All right, there we go. So now it's floating above. You can barely see, it's like right floating above. So this is what I like to do. Well, first of all, you're gonna wrap your tape in whatever the wedding is gonna be wrapped in. So if it's gonna be, or if you have home decor, you can do twine, you can do satin, you can do lace. You're just gonna wanna cover that tape a little bit somehow. Obviously you don't wanna just see tape. Now what I do is like, I pinch these out a little bit, like fold them out, so they kind of look crisscross, so they look more realistic. Do you see how they just bend like that? Because there's wire inside of those stem covers. Okay, and then I'm gonna put it down in my box and it sits there and it floats above. Now, here's a few things you can do. So again, you can put water. Obviously don't put water up to your tape because you don't wanna wet your tape and make it fall apart. But you can put water on the bottom where it looks like the stems are sitting in the water. And that'll look obviously more realistic there. You can put marbles in there. You can put sand. One of ours put like starfish and sand and things like that. Shells and cute things. Pearls. Actually, I had a wedding that did in boxes. They put pearls, like obviously not real pearls, but there's like a big bag of plastic pearls and poured those in, and you can have that sit around there as well. Or you can just, again, I like the clean look. Again, this glass elegant look is very popular right now. So I like it just kind of floating in there where you can see like the whole bouquet in a box, and at the same time have a nice full centerpiece without the extra added stress of trying to figure out how to hide stuff in a plastic. Because a lot of times people are trying to figure out how to hide it and put like, foam in it, and how do you cover foam? But if you make a bouquet that's floating in it, you don't have to worry about that. It is, it is very elegant. You can actually get colored acrylics if you want to keep even the flowers white and your acrylics a certain color. But it's really a quick and easy way to do a centerpiece. And you don't have to spend, that took us, obviously if I wasn't talking and all that kind of stuff, let's say the bouquet takes like 10 minutes to make. So how quick is that for you to be able to do a bunch of these and whip them out? And you can even do acrylic boxes, come in all different heights and sizes. If you want even multiple ones on a table, you can do mini ones all the way up to big ones and tall ones, and you can kind of layer them around, which would be really cute as well. So there's a lot of ideas. Some people even put the actual lights inside of it. You can do fairy lights or the votives and things like that. So it's just a bunch of things you can do with this, but it looks simple, elegant, clean lines. So if you're looking for that style, acrylic boxes, again, I always say acrylic over glass. This one I charged, well, originally it was gonna be a 5x5 box, so I needed 6, but so this would be about $75. That's the cost of my medium-sized bridesmaids bouquets and the boxes. I found these boxes on like a wedding, like, you know, wedding supply, that's the word I'm thinking of, a wedding supply place, and the boxes were only like a couple dollars. So usually charge what the flower part, you know, would really cost. If your container's only like a couple dollars, obviously if your container is $10, you're gonna want to really up the price there. But this only was a couple dollars. Again, another reason why I avoid the glass and go for the acrylic. You can keep these nice and low. So this one would be about $75. A 5x5 I do between $55 and $65, but I also do bulk. You know, because you can buy these things in bulk, so they end up cheaper. I do give a bulk pricing to my brides if you are someone who's making it for somebody else. That way they don't have to spend an arm and a leg to get these. But that's about it. Again, the supplies were very, very cheap on this guy. But if you add all those little fun things on it, you want to make sure that you add, you know, that into your total as well. If you're going to put, you know, pearls or, you know, sea stars or something in there, you're definitely going to want to make sure you add that into your charging. So that is it for tonight. I do plan on doing another one tomorrow, another tutorial tomorrow. We were trying to catch up. I was away and then I was really sick and I had COVID. And so I missed like a month of tutorials because it was one thing after another. And now that I'm back and I'm pretty healthy, I would like to try to catch up on getting you guys as many tutorials as possible. So I'm just going to keep, every time I have a free night, I'm going to jump on and do that. But I am planning on coming back tomorrow night. Usually it's between like 9:30 to 10 Eastern Standard Time, because that gets everybody after dinner, even from the West Coast to the East Coast. That way people can have dinner and sit there and watch videos if that's what they need to do. Usually crafters are a little late night anyway. So, and that is it. So that's it for our tutorial tonight, and we will see you all soon. Again, our videos go on YouTube. That's youtube.com/lovesoletheflowers, and our 70% off sale is ending. So if you need to grab anything, go there now. All right, bye everyone.